As a CTO and co-founder of Acceldata, you've been driving the shift toward agentic data management, which
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys call ADM for
Yeah,
short. And it seems like a key part of that is something that you call the X-Lake reasoning engine. Do you want to tell us about X-Lake and agentic data management in general?
yeah, absolutely. So I think before we get into what agentic data management is and what this whole X Lake theory is, I think it's a little useful to talk about where we're coming from, right? So, we work with some, the bigger banks, insurance companies, the telco companies, and usually, what's ended up happening is that this field of data management and components in it. So, if you have a data catalog or MDM, curation, any of it, any of this stack, the practices which have been now around for like 15 years. Most of the companies have been around for that period of time. I'm not talking about, the compute engines because they come and go, but let's say the field of metadata and metadata management is essentially now the same for the last 15, 20 years with incremental improvements. And what we thought is, as AI becomes more and more capable, we've found that I think a lot of work which is manual and kind of businessy, because in the end, a lot of business software is a lot of forms and a lot of clicking and a lot of you know um, working with interfaces with very well defined workflows. And we feel that with the advent of AI, a lot of that can essentially be automated, right? And so there are two parts to it. One is the ADM part of it, which is the how do you make data management agentic, in the sense, let's say you are a data steward and you are doing five, things regularly in your day job. How do you essentially make agents to it, right? That's where the industry is heading. Whether it's sales or marketing, everybody's trying to do this. So we are trying to apply that to data management, right? So can a a data lake essentially classify the data itself, for example, right? Can you create validation rules automatically without having to spend an inordinate amount of time on some of these things? And what we also realized is that to power something like this, you actually need an engine. So a simple example is that when you use an AI, it knows everything about the world because in its brain there is a compression of facts and almost the whole internet, but it knows very little about your data. So if you ask it a simple question, ADM a simple question saying, okay, look at my data and let's say create a report about some business topic that you have, it really has no way for it to go and figure out what's in your environment. It only knows about what's the internal knowledge it has. And so what we've done is created a cross-lake compute engine, which essentially provides the tools to the AI layer, right? Which it can use to connect to your internal enterprise systems. And we call it an X-Lake reasoning engine because the way our architecture is built is that you can actually connect all your data sources or data lakes together. So whether you're on-prem, whether you're on cloud, right? You might have big companies have all sorts of environments. They will buy Snowflake, they will buy, AWS, they also have Azure, they also have a huge, on-prem footprint. So why should we call it the X-Lake reasoning engine is because it can provide AI the context it needs while operating across different data lakes, right? And that is the reason why ADM is so powerful, that you can almost ask it anything about your environment and it knows how to get data from your cloud, from your from your internal environment, from your data centers, put it all together at scale and provide the AI the real tooling or the context it needs to answer your question. So that's all about.